speaking of those Titans, it didn't happen on trade deadline day. It happened about a week ago. Or DeAndre Hopkins, former Titan, really a former Texan and a former Cardinal. He went from Tennessee to the Kansas City Chiefs. And the reason why we're going to be giving out presidential pardons here within the realm of sports is because literally the reaction I heard from DeAndre Hopkins following that Monday Night Football win by the Chiefs, the sudden death victory, 30-24 in overtime, the Kareem Hunt touchdown. But before that, there was two DeAndre Hopkins touchdowns from the hands of Patrick Mahomes. And he had 86 yards. He had a ton of catches. And then he had this post-game moment on Monday Night Football, which elicited some just overwhelming emotions out of me because I know how he feels.
I mean, I manifested this. I seen this already. You know, my mom, we knew this day would come. And, I'm just being present in the moment.
Enjoy it.
Thank you.
Does that sound like a man that just won a regular season game?
Yeah. We against the Buccaneers without the two top weapons.
Right.
Battered and bruised. Probably shouldn't have been in overtime with that team.
No. But that sounds like a man that it's bigger than him just winning a game. It's bigger than him having a 2-touchdown day because remember, just last year with the Titans and Will Levis's debut, he had 3 touchdowns. He's been here before. He's done these things at a high level before, but Nuke sounded like that post-game because he knows that he is stepping into a realm unknown to him before. He knows he is now playing games that matter again, and he hasn't done so since back when he was with Deshaun Watson in Houston before Deshaun Watson went over the edge. Now he's playing with the real Michael Jordan of football and Patrick Mahomes, and the emotion you heard in DeAndre Hopkins' voice, that's the sound of freedom. That's the sound of being presidentially pardoned. Now, we only have 2 more hours before the trade deadline ends here, though, C-Cat. So we're going to have to elicit some more presidential pardons for people in sports. We're acting as the president of sports, and if you were elected today, if people casted their ballots and you were the one in charge, who would be the first player, coach, maybe even a fan out there that you would give a presidential pardon to in order to free them from their previous situation and put them in a better space? And we saw it with Derrick Henry. We saw it with Saquon Barkley. We saw it with DeAndre Hopkins. Can I go through the list today, C-Cat?
Yeah.
We had a few today, few big-time trades in the NFL, right? Like on deadline day in the NFL, it's not like the NBA. Really, Major League Baseball has had a tick up in their deadline day more so than years before. I'm starting to notice. But the NBA usually dominates it. The NFL is usually more quiet. But we got some fireworks early on. We have Zadarius Smith, edge rusher for the Browns. He's headed to the Lions in place of Aiden Hutchinson, a 5th and a 6th round pick for Zadarius Smith. He being pardoned from a poor situation. This kind of feels a little iffy here. But the Cowboys traded a 4th round pick for Jonathan Mingo, the receiver for the Panthers. Like, he's going from the Panthers, which is, again, one of the worst organizations in all of sports. So, yes, congratulations, you've been pardoned. The Cowboys? Is that a place you want to go right now?
You know what this does for Jonathan Mingo is 25 years from now, when he has his man cave, hopefully he makes some good investments and makes the most out of his time in the NFL. The jerseys that he hangs up in his basement, in his man cave, it'll be cool to have one of those being a Dallas jersey.
Yeah.
Right? There's kind of a lack of flavor with the Panthers jersey. But a Cowboys jersey, that's pretty sick to put in a frame and hang up.
Whenever you are associated with that franchise, either you used to work for it, like our guy, Todd Fleming, CEO of the Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches, and people hear you were affiliated with the Dallas Cowboys, it does resonate a little bit more.
Now, that's going to be 25 years in the future. Right now, no, it sucks. You have more expectations, and you are going to disappoint everybody.
Also, like, did you see Jerry Jones saying Dak Prescott likely to go on IR with that hamstring? That means at least 4 games without Dak. That means Cooper Rush. And this is a team that said they were all in. Look at the receivers that teams that are actually all in went and got. The Chiefs got D-Hop. The Jets got Devontae Adams. The Bills got Amari Cooper. Like, come on. Like, hell, the Ravens got Deontay Johnson.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way, the team that was all in got like the 5th best wide receiver for the Panthers. Yeah, they didn't even get Deontay Johnson.
Exactly. They wanted Deontay Johnson. They didn't have Deontay Johnson money, little bro. Like, enjoy Jonathan Mingo for you, champ. That's how it goes with them.
Here's a bad sign, by the way, too. If you're a contending team out there and you're on the market trying to get a player, if a team selected, and this is in Jonathan Mingo's case, if a team selected a guy with a premium pick, the second-round pick for the Panthers last year when they got Mingo, and the very next year they're willing to trade him for a fourth-rounder, they're willing to lose 2 rounds of value and a year to get off of that player? Yeah. I don't know. That might say something more about the player, right? Like,
yeah, I think the Panthers probably know more about the capabilities and the limits and the possibilities of Jonathan Mingo than the Cowboys do. I think it's fair to say.
But the Cowboys are all in, though, so they got it. Maybe they're light years ahead as well, like the Warriors, and they know something that the Panthers and we don't know. But hell, they went out and swung for the fences and got Jonathan Mingo. Household name Jonathan Mingo to add to that receiver core in Dallas. This was a big one. The Washington Commanders are first place right now in the NFC East, 7-2. Jaden Daniels isn't just getting Offensive Rookie of the Year nods. There's a lot of folks talking MVP conversation with the rookie quarterback out of LSU. They trade a 3rd and a 4th-round pick. They get a 6th-round pick back, and they get Marshon Lattimore, Pro Bowl corner from the New Orleans Saints, who, by the way, again, that's a presidential pardon right there. If he didn't get freed, he was going to be miserable living out the rest of his days with the Saints, who are on a 7-game losing streak, who just fired their head coach and are, for the past 4 or 5 years, their trajectory has been nowhere.
The best thing that happened to the Saints this year is earlier today, the Pope tweeted about the Saints. The Pope was tweeting about, like, religion and stuff.
Yeah.
But he did hashtag Saints. So it had the little Saints logo next to it.
That's so cute. That's dope.
Right?
I wonder if he saw it. It was just like, oh, that's a nice little flair. We'll keep going. We'll send it out.
You think the Pope is tweeting out stuff? You think he's got a nice little iPhone and he's like, you know what? This is actually a good one. I think the rest of the world should see this.
I always try and debate it out. Like when I'm looking at highly important people and seeing the messaging either coming from Twitter, Instagram, or even like, so Wiz Khalifa texted me. He was one of the people to text me ahead of the election. And when Wiz Khalifa texted me, I was like, this wasn't Wiz.
Nah, Wiz is not saying, you know, Theo needs to vote.
You need to go vote.
Make sure Theo votes.
By the way, if y'all haven't voted, go vote. But don't do it because Wiz Khalifa told you to. Do it because, you know, that's your whole, you know, constitutional right thing. Yeah, Wiz Khalifa texted me. I knew it wasn't Wiz. When certain people tweet, you know it's not them. Like Joe Namath, who's a Palm Beach County resident now, the last quarterback to deliver a Super Bowl to the New York Jets. And he might be the last ever to deliver a Super Bowl to the New York Jets. I had an inkling he wasn't the one doing the tweeting from his account, and when I got on an interview with him, I asked him, and he said, "Hell no." I think it's like his daughter or something. Yeah, he's like, "I'm not doing that."
Yeah, the Saints are ugly. The Saints make me sad.
Yeah,
that's what the Saints do nowadays.
They do.
I'm happy. I mean, I know a couple of Commanders fans, and the one thing they wanted going into this week was a cornerback.
That's what
they
need
wanted
most.
Someone in the secondary in general.
Yeah, they need most help in the defensive secondary. They have now you have to consider them legitimately. Like when you bring in an outside corner, the level of Lattimore, as long as the health is good, as long as the tread on the tires aren't too worn, like he's only 28 years old. That could be the kind of piece that does get them over the Eagles, because when you face the Eagles, you got to find somebody to stand in front of number 11. That's a daunting task.
Not to get too inside football, but poor Tyrann Mathieu, who's still in New Orleans.
Oh, man.
He's still a Saint. And, you know, game-recognized game. I'm sure Tyrann Mathieu loved having Lattimore there with him and embracing the struggle together in the same secondary. Now he's alone.
Free to homie. Also, by the way, I know a team, I know a place, Kansas City, that would love and welcome him back in with open arms. Tyrann Mathieu, if you're out there listening, I know you're home. I know, Louisiana is the crib, but, paradise is on the other side. You know what that feels like. Who would you offer a presidential pardon to if you were elected the president of all of sports? Who would you give your pardon to the same way that we've seen these great stars of the sport be freed this year? DeAndre Hopkins, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, recently Marshon Lattimore, Zadarius Smith. These are guys maybe not as big of a namesake, but definitely have an impact on the football field. Who would you offer your presidential pardon to? For me right now, the number one guy that I wish we can pull away from the grasp of his organization and put him with a quality team, a well-run front office, and a better roster is in the actual National Basketball Association, and it's my guy, Anthony Edwards. Free Ant.
He had a good season last year.
Free my dog Ant. Yeah, he had a good season because they got Anthony Edwards.